inconvenienced the Aadmi of Mumbai today when he decided to take an auto rickshaw and a local train during his campaign, resulting in complete chaos. Just another publicity stunt, says the opposition.
First, an auto rickshaw ride. On a busy weekday, hopping onto Mumbai's lifeline.
This is how crowded local trains usually are. This is how people travel on these trains every day, and one can see that this is what the Aadmi party is trying to say, that this is their Aadmi message.
Arvind Kejriwal once again in full Aadmi mode. A repeat of his metro ride in Delhi. But the surge of regular commuters, supporters, media persons and curious passerbys resulting in chaos at the Churchgate station.
माफी मांगी, आपको दिक्कत हो गई है, आपको दिक्कत हो रही है हमारे चलते, तो वो बोले कि नहीं कुछ नहीं हुआ यार, हमारा आम जनता है, हम डेली इसी तरह की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं। देखिए ये पुलिस का काम है क्राउड को मैनेज करना, तो उनको काम करना चाहिए।
किसी भी मोर्चा में, आंदोलन में, कौन सी भी एक्टिविटी में यदि पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी का नुकसान होता है तो वो महाराष्ट्र में वसूल करने का कानून हमने बनाया है, सबको लागू है।
After Delhi, Kejriwal is hopeful of tapping votes in urban centres like Mumbai. The Aadmi party is set to contest 4 of the 6 seats in the maximum city.
ना आज तक बीजेपी ने हिंदुओं के लिए कुछ किया, ना कांग्रेस ने मुसलमानों के लिए कुछ किया। आज इस देश को एक ही आदमी बचा सकता है, वो है आम आदमी।
BJP once again calling this a publicity stunt for headlines.
वो सादगी का ढोंग जरूर रचते हैं, लेकिन सबसे ज्यादा नियम, कायदे, कानून और समाज में अराजकता फैलाने का काम वो करते हैं।
India's busiest city, Mumbai, has no tolerance or time for theatrics. In fact, Kejriwal would well recall when Anna Hazare went on hunger strike, Mumbai, unlike Delhi, did not respond. Delay and inconvenience caused while commuting is every Mumbaiker's biggest irritant. A common man's problem, the Aadmi party seems to have ignored. In Mumbai with Tejas Mehta, Saurabh Gupta for NDTV.
All right, I'm going to take that question first straight away to Mr. Prashant Bhushan. Mr. Bhushan, you saw there the scenes of chaos that took place in Mumbai today as a result of Arvind Kejriwal's decision to take public transport. What do you say to those people today, A, who are inconvenienced, and B, who call these publicity stunts that are not needed?
Well, in an election, if you have to make contact with the people, if you move around with the people, some amount of chaos, some amount of inconvenience is inevitable. That cannot be helped. But yes, sometimes it does go beyond the minimal that should be there, and sometimes it does inconvenience people, and that's unfortunate. And if that happens, and if it happens because of our party, we are sorry for that. But in general, you see, in election time, if you have to make contact with the people, particularly if your party does not have the kind of money which the Congress and the BJP do, by which they just advertise, plaster all the posters all over the city, advertise in television, radio, etc., and when your only way of making contact with the people is to go around to the people, whether by way of a road show or moving with the people, then some amount of inconvenience to the
Mr. Bhushan,
traveling
how is
people
taking an
does
auto
happen.
rickshaw? How is taking an auto rickshaw going to help in making contact with people, or even a 30-minute train ride? Frankly, all we can see is
whether he takes an auto rickshaw, whether he takes a car, it doesn't make any difference. He took an auto rickshaw possibly because he felt that he would be more visible to the people outside. Maybe the car or the vehicle that was there that had been arranged for him was a closed car or whatever. I don't know what the exact circumstances were.
Okay.
But I don't think that's going to make any difference so far as any inconvenience to the traffic is concerned. As I pointed out, we try when we do our road shows or when we do our rallies, etc., to minimize inconvenience to the people.
I just want to tell you though that the poor auto rickshaw driver has got fined by the Mumbai police for allowing more than 3 people to travel in his auto. Poor chap. But Shaina NC wanted to come in. Shaina, some amount of inconvenience, Mr. Bhushan says, is inevitable no matter who campaigns. But I know that it's been a tough day for those people who were commuting in Mumbai today.
Nidhi, I want to say as a Mumbaikar that enough of this theatrics, media frenzy and attention-seeking ways. Mr. Kejriwal, tom-toms about being the man for the common man, and he has caused maximum inconvenience to that common man. Forget destruction of public property, which his karyakartas obviously have done. Everyone is entitled to an enthusiasm, but there is something called discipline, and if you're going to damage public property, inconvenience the same Mumbaikar who you're wooing to vote, play to the gallery and constantly have the media follow you every place you're going, public sees through it. And public realizes that if you've actually come to ask for votes, come up and say what you want to do for the city of Mumbai or what you choose to do for Maharashtra. To have all this drama where you have people flinging on to auto rickshaws and tugging through the city, commuters harassed, the Mumbaikars suffering at any venue where Mr. Kejriwal happens to be present, I think enough is enough, and we need to understand that the maturity of election campaign is a disciplined campaign where you reach out to public without inconveniencing them and then saying that you belong to this common class and you understand their plight when you're doing just nothing for them.
Okay, I'm going to take that back to Mr. Bhushan in just a moment, but I want to ask Mr. Kesavan that what is the Congress's position on this? Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi pulled a very similar sort of gimmick or stunt or whatever you want to call it when he decided to jump onto a train in Mumbai as well. And with his security, I'm sure that would have inconvenienced many people. So you can't really turn around and say that the AAP was doing theatrics when Mr. Gandhi has done the same.
There's a big difference between earnestness and a pattern of indulging in theatrics and histrionics and gimmicks, Nidhi. First thing is, who was surprised? Because the Aam Aadmi Party is living up to its word. They said they're self-styled anarchists. And why are we surprised? We saw the shameful, disorderly violence which was unleashed between BJP and AAP on March 5th on the streets of Delhi. And why are we surprised this is happening? I think this is a problem. AAP has a problem of attention deficit disorder. See, when somebody has lack of attention...
Why is it earnestness when Rahul Gandhi does it? 1 second. Why is it earnest? No, why is it earnest when Rahul Gandhi does it and it's theatrics when the AAP does it? Why?
Is there a pattern in what Sri Rahul Gandhi has done?
He does quite a few things.
Did Somnath Bharti happen? Did Vijay Chowk happen? Did gate crashing in Gujarat happen? No. Please let us be fair here. And one more thing, what you see here is serious, Nidhi. Today you have willfully vandalized public property, you violated traffic rules, and you have, basically brought the city's life, to a standstill. And if this cannot be compared to, something which happened ad hoc in one day, this has been the trend of this party. Because I'll tell you the problem, Nidhi, with these people, they don't have substance, and I think the problem also they find is with the media, because after they came to power and, after they ceded power, the scrutiny of the media glare has gone up, and they've even accused the media of taking money and being biased to them. That's because they lack. See, the Aam Aadmi Party cannot go on with the governance of deflection and seeking cheap publicity and posturing. I think the problem here is they should know that mere television alone won't help them. Vision, not television, but vision will only carry you forward, and you're really hurting themselves. And I think one more thing, they say any publicity is good publicity, but let me tell you one thing, the publicity stunts which these people are doing are going to harm them in a big way, and they already stand exposed before the people.
Well, then you should just let them continue doing what they're doing. That will help everybody. But Shahid Siddiqui, who wanted to come in on that.
Yes. Nidhi, I feel that this is also a kind of corruption. This is ideological corruption. This is hypocrisy. These are gimmicks, because you don't become a common man by traveling in a three-wheeler or on a belgadi or wearing a gamcha. I've seen some of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, suddenly they have started putting a gamcha around their necks to show that they belong to the Aam Aadmi. So what you are trying to do, you are trying to tell the people that if you look poor, if you have crumpled clothes, if you are wearing a three-wheeler, then you are Aam Aadmi. If you are traveling in a car and if you are wearing pressed clothes, then you are not an Aam Aadmi. Aam Aadmi is anybody in this country who doesn't have the power either of money or of position or of any sort. So you don't have to play this kind of gimmicks, because this is 21st century. It will not work whether it's Rahul Gandhi or it's Kejriwal or it's someone else in this age of television. And I think the media is also responsible for it, because when there are theatricals, then media covers it much more and they get free publicity. So they go more and more for it. as it happens with demonstrations. In demonstrations, people become violent just whenever they see cameras. And that leads to a lot of problems. Same is happening with these demonstrations. So media will have to ignore this kind of theatrical behavior of these parties, and these parties will have to take up the issues of the people, not the gimmicks which attracts people.
Now Mr. Bhushan's heard the criticism of all three. I'll take this back to him. Mr. Bhushan, is this more gimmickry that is created for the media? Because as you said, he got a lot of attention from TV cameras today, and perhaps the newspapers will have that photograph tomorrow of sitting in an auto rickshaw or sitting in a train. But at the end of the day, it is the very Aam Aadmi that you say that you represent who was inconvenienced in a big way today. I mean, you look at those scenes, it's just utter chaos at the station.
No, I didn't see the scenes, but I can tell you that the only reason for taking a train or an auto rickshaw, etc., is to make contact, is to make mass contact with the people. When Arvind did his road shows in Delhi, the whole object was to get to meet and get to see as many people as he could in Delhi. The same thing he was trying to do here in Mumbai, that trying to meet and trying to see as many people as he could. So now in that, sometimes it does happen that there is some inconvenience to the commuters, or there is some amount of confusion or commotion which takes place. We try and avoid that as much as we can, but as I said, some of it is unavoidable. If you are in an election campaign, either you don't do any campaign, either you say, well, no such mass contact would be done during an election campaign.
We do mass contact.
An election campaign would be run.
Have more than 2-3 cars. That is the election commission's condition, and that's how we stop corruption.
So
because if we are moving with 100 motorcycles and cars, and that leads to corruption.
No, I'm sure
that's why election commission stops this and controls this. That our Bombay team complied with whatever rules had been laid out by the city police or by the election commission, etc. But you see, spontaneously sometimes crowds do gather, people want to meet, people want to see, and in that process sometimes there is some confusion and commotion. But as I said, you see, if you are having elections in this country, and for that it is necessary to have mass contact, etc.
But Mr. Bhushan, how do you respond to the criticism of the gimmickry of the party and Arvind Kejriwal in particular, as Shahid Siddiqui was also saying,
that is an absurd,
I don't want security.
That's an absurd allegation.
Why? He doesn't want. There's always a tamasha about his security. There's this whole thing about, as Shahid Siddiqui was saying, a certain look, a certain way, and a lot of that often comes, to bite you back.
What look? I mean, just because he wears a muffler during winter, that's called trying to appear like a common man. Just because he wears a t-shirt, that's like, I mean, that's an absurd accusation.
No, sorry. What did Shahid?
He never wore a gamcha earlier. Now Ashutosh is wearing a gamcha around his neck, the gamcha which we wear in our rural areas to show that he is a common man. Why is that so?
Mr. Shahid Siddiqui wearing a muffler, you are saying, is trying to look like a common man. Are you out of your mind?
You know what is a gamcha? You know what is a gamcha?
Nobody raised that point, Mr. Bhushan.
I am talking about gamcha because the common man, a poor man, wears a gamcha. So suddenly you want to look like a common man, you wear a gamcha. That's
if you look at the photographs of Arvind 10 years ago and today, he looks exactly the same. He dresses exactly the same.
I am talking about Ashutosh.
Nidhi, can I?
Yes. Quickly, last word to everyone. Yes, Mr. Kesavan, and then to Shaina. Yes.
I think, Nidhi, can I just say something?
One sec, Shaina. I'll come to you right after this.
Nidhi, I don't want. Okay.
Yeah, Mr.
Nidhi, I don't want to comment about the sartorial sensibilities of the Aam Aadmi party or any other party. I just want to say this. The police of Mumbai had very clearly said if they do this, it will result in chaos. The problem with the Aam Aadmi party is for publicity, they'll do perfectly planned chaos, and which is what they have done today. Their time is running up. Posturing and theatrics will not fetch you far. You've already lost. You've not only brought the people to a standstill today. The goodwill the people had for you have come to a standstill, and it will be very clearly reflected in the mandate which you won't get in 2014. And
well, Mr. Kesavan, I hope you did though notice the crowds. There were quite a lot of people who were curious to see Arvind Kejriwal. Maybe that's also telling us something there. Shaina, last word.
No, but that's true. But Nidhi, more people would have watched
Nidhi,
this ruckus on
ironically,
television.
I
would
agree
have
with
been
Mr.
totally
Kesavan,
I'm
so I
talking
won't
about
want
those
to
who are
repeat
physically
that.
there who wanted to see him, which is what resulted in the chaos. Yes, China.
Ironically, I agree with Mr. Kesavan, so I won't repeat the points he's made. But I will clearly say that if you come into a city, especially in an election campaign, the least you can do is maintain some kind of decorum and discipline. You believe that this rule of mob versus rule of law, which you've constantly flogged at Aam Janta, is something that is going to be accepted. It's clearly not. I think we've seen enough of this media frenzy and this every day a news story, and to suggest that anybody who wears this topi of his is suddenly very honest and is the only option to a corrupt system. I think that the public sees through that, especially when you have when you have this hypocrisy where you take on the administration, where you choose to flout rules, where you choose to, and where you think that you are holier than thou. So I think enough is enough, and the media also needs to do a little bit of introspection on the kind of television time you're giving him.
Well, we're getting hammered from everyone as far as the media is concerned, from all political parties. So maybe we're just doing something right. But whether this is a publicity stunt or whether this is a way to connect with people, I think that's ultimately for the voters to decide. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us on the program this evening. Shaina NC, CR Kesavan, Shahid Siddiqui and Prashant Bhushan. We'll see you again next week. Do stay tuned tomorrow though for our special opinion poll. India's biggest opinion poll, we're calling it. That's playing out tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.